Welcome everyone to this wonderful Saturday morning and R&R. I'm Jill.
And I'm Phil.
And together we are Jill and
Phil.
We nearly missed it there. Sorry, you're getting a very funny view of me today because I'm using a different device. Nonetheless, we've got a cracking good lot of, we've got one book, one film and one song, so I can't say the plural. Anyway, I hope you're going to enjoy our choices this morning. So Phil's going to start with a book. Phil, what's your book?
Okay, so my book is An Alien at St Winifred's by Adrian Plass.
Sorry, is that Winifred or Wilfred?
Wilfred, yeah. It's my own book and I can't read the title. But it's I've chosen this one because I go on about Adrian Plass quite a lot, and I quote from his Sacred Diaries quite a lot. But this is a really good book as well.
I seem to remember reading it quite a few years ago. Yeah. Tell me about it. Sorry, I didn't control.
It's a brilliant book. So it's about an alien at a church called St Wilfrid's. But there's it's basically got the vicar who's feeling a bit down and depressed, and he's been broken by the church organist. Basically, he's just destroyed him, and he's not loving life. And then one day in church, he meets an alien in his church who's learned English from all of the books at the back of church. So he speaks from a mixture of the BCP and Jeffrey Archer novels and that kind of thing.
Sorry, the BCP being the Book of Common Prayer.
Yeah, this is
1662, just for those who might not know. Yeah.
So he meets this alien, and this alien says you can pick 5 people who can see me with you. So they kind of form this little, it's almost like a home group really, of the alien and the different characters. And the way the book's structured, each character gives their narrative of their little home group. And it's in some ways it's a silly little book, it's a silly little plot, but it's really moving. I read it. I had a quiet day where I went away pre-lockdown. I went to Oxford and sat in one of the churches and just read it. And I'm revealing what a softy I am. I got quite teary reading it because it's just a beautiful story, and it's just Adrian Plass has this way of gently bringing out truths about God that kind of cut to the heart, and it's always actually you're loved and you're valued, and that really comes out in this book, I think.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I do remember reading it, but I couldn't remember the actual storyline. Yeah,
and it's just it's got all the different characters in the church, and the way the alien can see the value in these characters that actually might get missed by someone not quite as perceptive as the alien, I think.
Yeah. It's fabulous, isn't it, how books that make you smile can also actually help you really to grasp theological truths and help you apply it in your life. Yeah.
I think so. And I think it's because they come to me, little children, you need to become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. I really think that when I read the Adrian Plass stuff, because it's on one level really simple, but on another level just so profound. But you don't need multiple degrees and doctorates to know what he's talking about.
No, he's very witty and he's very perceptive, isn't he? You know, and he has a very light touch, and he sort of makes fun of people, but in a loving way. Yeah. When I say people, I mean the church, basically. Yeah.
But it's okay to make fun of the church when it comes from a place of love, I think.
Yeah, and someone who loves the church as well. Yeah, good. Okay, well, that's a book I haven't seen in a while, so thank you for recommending that, Phil.
So have you got a film that you'd like to recommend?
As it happens, I have. So this film, My Octopus Teacher, I watched it. It's on Netflix, and I'd seen it there and been half tempted to see what it was all about. My Octopus Teacher. It sounds a bit wacky and weird. I didn't want anything wacky and weird. And then my daughter watched it and posted on Facebook how moving it had been. Best film ever seen. So interestingly, it's a documentary, and it's about a man who's a photographer. He introduces himself at the beginning of the film. He's something else as well, researcher maybe, can't remember. And he takes time out of work and he goes swimming in South Africa, which is where he lives. And the film starts off with him swimming in these dangerous waters. But somewhere along the coast, there's like a 200-meter square of still water. And he dives down into the sort of sea forest. And he goes there every day, and he doesn't wear a wetsuit because he thinks it's really important that it's skin to skin sort of thing. And he starts observing the wildlife underwater. And so the film is a documentary of all his photography underwater, but it all focuses down on his relationship that he has with an octopus. And every day he goes down to where the octopus is. So I can't remember the timings exactly. It was just absolutely fantastic and fascinating. But after a number of days, I don't know if it's 7 days or 30 days or whatever, he wins the octopus's trust. And you see the little tentacles coming out. The octopus just touches his hand and explores his hand and sort of draws his hand to his den. And the chap whose name I can't remember, but he starts living an octopus life. It's like he thinks octopus, he longs to be with the octopus. And there's they make and the photography is out of this world. It's not fiction. This is real. This man really did engage with this octopus. And there's one scene where he's been playing with the fish, this octopus, who he calls her, and she comes and sits on his chest under the water. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And he loves the octopus. Anyway, I won't tell you the whole story, but it's if you like David Attenborough, any of his Planet Earth document, you're going, this is sort of takes you deeper, and it's like our relationship with the natural world, and he's invested time with this octopus. And I was thinking, I think the week before I'd watched, quite late at night, there was a program with Chris Packham, the nature presenter, talking about his life as somebody who's autistic. And when he was about 11, he formed this real attachment with a falcon. And he'd take the falcon to the field and train it. And he absolutely loved the falcon. And after 6 months, the falcon died. And Chris Packham still goes back to the tree where the falcon was buried, even though he's now, a grown man. And that was the biggest loss in his life, was this falcon. And it occurs, and you sort of think about St. Francis of Assisi and relationship with animals, and maybe we've lost something of that. And then I was remembering, I went to Lindisfarne once, Holy Island, and I had a day on my own. My daughter was part of the Northumbria community up there. We'd miraculously taken my mother there as well, but this was a day for me to have on my own, and I'd driven up there and just spent this day on Holy Island. And the thing about that was the birds were not frightened of the humans. So in the little cafe, all the sparrows were coming down and eating off the crumbs of the cake of the people who were sitting there having tea and cake. But when you walk round the island, there were birds on shed. Well, I remember a couple of birds on shed, and I walked right by them, and they just stayed their course. And then, you're aware of a bird right close by with you in a shed, a hedge shed. What am I talking about? And it was like, I've never been in a place where birds aren't frightened of me, you know? Anyway, the point about this documentary film, My Octopus Teacher, is it will sort of broaden your understanding of this beautiful world and the place that we have within it. But he would never have had that relationship with the octopus if he had not invested the time that he did to sort of getting to know it and research it and study it. So it's just a phenomenal film, and I recommend it for anybody to watch.
And so is it an all-age film then? So could you sit down with your kids and watch it?
I think you can, definitely. I mean, it's a bit sad because the octopus does die in the end, so the shark gets it. Sorry, that's made. But I mean, what amazing photography that having had that relationship with the octopus, he also captures. I mean, the shark doesn't kill it; it dies in childbirth because they produced all these little baby octopuses, and that takes all the life out of the octopus. It's amazing. So the shark just comes and cleans it up, if you like. But there was an encounter with a shark in the program as well, and the antics of the octopus to escape that, you know. So he makes the case that the octopus is at least as intelligent as your average cat or dog, you know, like it's got a brain, like it's thinking. It's not just instinctive. It has a personality. Yeah. Oh, you just have to watch it. Yeah.
I will look that one up, and it's one that don't have to worry about the kids walking in on that one.
No, well, yeah. I see. I'm a bit removed, but I think it's okay for everyone. I think children would be absolutely fascinated, but you might need to just check because they might be a little bit emotionally attached. I don't know. Anyway, Phil, so you've got a song for us now.
Song. So my song is "Are You Gonna Go My Way" by Lenny Kravitz did the original, although actually I know it from Tom Jones because Tom Jones did a set of cover versions in the 90s of this was one of them. But it's "Are You Gonna Go My Way." Do you know it at all, Jill?
Well, you'll have to give me the tune. I'm rubbish at words, but if you sing it.
I'm not sure how to find this going to be for anyone. So it's the but the kind of question is, but what I really want to know is, are you going to go my way? Oh, it doesn't sound anything like that. Can't sing, but it's but it's a really upbeat kind of funky bluesy kind of rhythm to it, and I've got no idea what it's about. But this is another example of my strange brain kind of Christianizing everything I listen to. I've got no idea what he's actually on about, but the opening lines are, I was born long ago, I'm the chosen, I'm the one, I have come to save the day, and I won't leave until I'm done. And I know he's not talking about Jesus because of other stuff he goes on to say. But that it kind of sounds to me like whenever I hear it, it's like Jesus saying, "Are you going to go my way?" And obviously, the early Christians were referred to as the way, weren't they? So I always listen to it, and it feels like almost like an altar call to me. Like, actually, are you going to choose to go the way of Jesus? And yeah, those opening words almost could be Jesus. I was born, not he's on board, isn't he? But I'm the chosen, I'm the one. It could be Jesus. But then he goes on.
We can't play it, isn't it?
It really is. Maybe there is an art to choosing these songs. Actually, if you could hear it, it would be a really good song to talk about. If you can't hear it, not so much. But yeah, no, it is one of those songs that's quite easy to Christianize. As we're not talking about that long because we can't. What I was thinking about when I was picking my song yesterday, I was listening to music in the car, and this came on. I was like, yeah, that's the one I'm going to choose. But the one that came on after it was "Let Me Entertain You" by Robbie Williams. And it just made me realise how much I like to Christianise stuff. Because instantly I changed it to "Let Me Redeem You." And it's just kind of like, if what they've written doesn't work, I just change it.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say you'd had a revelation there, but no. Okay. Well, you had, but not of the sort that I was going to suggest. Oh, well, so that's our three. So we've had Alien at St. Wilfrid, My Octopus Teacher, and Are You Going to Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. So do listen in, do get the book, do enjoy the film. I'm sure you will. And we'll see you next week. Have a good time. Happy Saturday. Bye.